Clash of Clans podcast, special episode 33. And it's Scotty back with another special episode with Kratos, leader of Project Cadmus and House of Non. This interview started off a little bit different than we had, as you hear here, but we did it as a live Twitch event, so it's a little bit different than a normal episode. Hopefully it works pretty well. What happened was we had some tech errors and had to restart the episode a couple times, so I just wanted to introduce here. So here is the interview with Kratos, and enjoy. Welcome back to the podcast. Kratos is the leader of Project Cadmus and House of Non. And we've got a lot to talk about because you were here probably, what was it, like 2 months ago?
Yeah. It was when I believe we were about to tie Zod's record for the win streak.
Oh yeah, and Project Cadmus is running at 39 war wins and 2 draws, right?
Yep.
Do you count the first one?
Yep.
And honestly, I have to say, coming in here, I'm not going to show the replays on Project Cadmus's bases, just because. And I just announced this on our first rendition of the podcast, but my second account's name is now Britney Spears, and with a trademark, which I really love. It's been awesome. So this is kind of the public appearance. But Britney Spears is visiting Project Cadmus, and I got to say, I opted out of the first war because the pressure of it. I thought, I don't want Britney Spears to
The name cracks me up.
Yeah, I didn't want her to screw up your perfect win streak because you've had the draws, but you have never lost a battle.
No, we had our the first war we had was a tie, and then we had a tie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wars ago. So we're on a 4-win streak again, and that was a really tough war. But we still should have won that one that we tied.
Well,
that was mostly my fault. I screwed up on my last attack, but we would have won if I got that.
But still, a draw is an amazing. It's like looking at the war today. It came down to I'm watching the attack, Keaton's attack on the number 1 right now, but so I don't know what the final score was, but it was close.
Yeah, and it ended up being 54-48. But like you said, it wasn't the score's deceiving because that was 48-48, like up to the last. And then me, Keaton, and Cruel and Fletch went in the last 8 minutes.
Yeah.
And Fletch got a 3-star. I got a 2-star. Cruel got a 2-star, and Keaton got a 2-star. So that put us up to 54-48.
And I'm not really sure that. I think Brittany will be fine in this war coming up. But it was really intense. And what I think is really cool about Project Cadmus and like looking through the bases is there's such a range. Like, you've got the 10s on the top, but the bases that you were facing, in this war were really, really strong bases.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that I think a lot of people, when they look at the record, they think we're not going against bases that are that high up. And, we do get a variation because of the different town halls, but we're definitely not getting really easy town hall 10s. It's not.
Right. Yeah. Like looking at it, I thought, wow. It's just, it kind of blows my mind that it's staggered. Because you've got 8s, you've got 9s, you've got 10s. What was the size of the war? It was
that one was 20.
20.
Was it 20?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
like 20.
the way that it was stacked, and I guess like I'm surprised you haven't gotten a completely, or maybe you have gotten like a completely mismatched.
We've only had we've only had one that we should have got destroyed. I mean, like by the way it looked, and I know the top guy had max heroes, and I don't remember the second guy. I mean, the top 4 or 5 had really high heroes, but I know the first one had max heroes. But like by the way it looked, we should have got destroyed. But yeah, I think it was around the time that they did the kibosh on the I modding and X modding for a little while.
Okay.
And so I think that's what those guys were doing because they did not attack anywhere near what their bases look like.
Oh, so you kind of got it caught where they were, normally were probably modding, and then they got.
Yeah, because they had
caught.
161 wins. So I mean, they were
Okay.
they were pretty good until then.
Wow.
So luckily we caught them at that point, and
Well, and like the thing that kind of blew me, and like now, like looking at Keaton's attack on number 2, they've got super high walls. So I guess like going into the first war with you guys, like how do you pick the bases? Is it straight across? I think you said straight across last time, right? Or is it?
Yeah, we still do straight across. The only time, because with any war you'll get maybe a top heavy or middle or bottom. If our Town Hall 8s are like it's a really big mismatch where there's a bunch of Town Hall 9s, we'll switch bases, but it's totally up to them whether they want to or not. But for the most part, we just do straight across and then seconds for cleanup.
Okay.
And we just do from bottom up, and that's been working great. So the guys know wherever the lowest star is when they're up, that's where they're supposed to be taking it out.
So, yeah, there's a lot going on today because House of L had a big war that was really close to. Is this a typical war?
Yeah, this is the one today.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a typical war for us. Majority, I mean, if you look through our clan, our war log, like we usually don't have blowouts. I mean, for the most stars, I mean, one.
Yeah,
I think there's 3 or 4 wars that we won more than 10. I mean, the rest of them are 1 star, 2 star, 1 star. They're all pretty close wars.
Well, I think like too, like if you start to think about the sorry, I like kind of walked into looking at this attempt, but yeah, what was I going to say? Yeah, like you had said something about the score, the final score being it's 54-48, but it was I think half an hour left, and I came in and it was tied or 45 minutes.
Yeah, we were down by 1.
And so, does everybody attack like right away? Do you wait?
We try to have our Town Hall 8s and below get their attacks in within the first 12 hours.
Okay.
And then after that, we have everybody. It matters how the matchup is. If it looks like something to where we might not clean up all the Town Hall 9s and 8s,
Okay.
then we'll have a few more people hold off up top to see where they have to clean up. But if our guys are just going across and 3-star, and then we just all basically get our first attacks in.
Okay.
And then we'll clean up. Yep.
Yeah, because like House of L, we've been doing Clash Caller, which has really helped, and it's really. But we've got more people in the war, I guess. So
Yeah.
like you guys really work well together. And there's a lot of strategy going on in the chat. And what I think is great is because there's such a wide range, you get to see, and I really can't make sense of some of these matchups, like why number 3 is number 3 and not
I know.
not
I
number
can't
one.
figure. I can't figure out how they're number 2 with electric walls and everything
Yeah,
was not higher. Was not their number 1.
yeah,
I was curious about that too, and the only thing that guy has higher is his air defense. I think they're number 1, the number 2. But I mean, number 2 was he was a beast.
yeah. Like the number one, he's got the air defense, and he's got like a bunch of high archer tower. I mean, everything looks like pretty max. So he makes sense as number one. Then you go to number two, he's got a lot lower. Like cannons aren't max. He's a
Oh yeah,
TH10,
yep.
or mortars. I mean, yeah, and cannons aren't max either. He's got heroes at 36 and for the queen and 22. And then you go to number three, and he's got all maxed defenses, and he's got level 12 king and level 10 archer queen.
Oh, maybe it's because they did change it with the heroes and walls counting for more, right?
Yeah, yeah, they did. It still is a little baffling because it's like I haven't seen. Have you noticed a huge difference since the update?
Not, to be honest with you, now that you pointed it out, with their number 3 having, I mean, yeah, all of his defenses are maxed. And, I mean, he has skull walls with some Legos here and there. But, I mean, his heroes are the only thing that are lower than the other guys, and he's, yeah. No, I mean, I really, I guess, haven't noticed it like that.
Well, and so, like, how do you... Because so in a clan like this, you've got a win streak going on, which, like I told you, is a lot of pressure. I mean, like when you are, I guess like the one thing that I start to think about with a clan with a win streak, because you want to keep it going.
Yeah.
How do you like pick new members, or like when you get a request? Do you make decisions?
It's really tough with now that we have our 20 guys that, like, I can tell you by clockwork when they're going to attack. It's just, I mean, after
got in the groove.
Yeah, I mean, we're on our 42nd war. So today the war we just started could be our 40th without a loss, so that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But it's funny because our guys, it's always full participation. It's never, I never have to worry about people getting their attacks in. So the stress of that takes a ton of stress off, that we're not constantly on people's cases about, hey, you better get in, you better get in, you better get in, because we know all the people so well. We just know when they're going to get in. But to be honest with you, with the new recruits, we haven't, well, actually, we did just get, Hades just came over. He's actually doing his first war with us, with this one, with you.
Okay.
So this would be his first war being with us. But the way we do it is when we get a new recruit, we have them sit at least one war, so they can get a pretty good understanding how we do the wars before they actually commit to it, so they know what we're doing, what we expect. And because, not everybody likes that kind of thing, because like you said, with the stress of it, some people might think we're, a little nuts about it. But, with however many clans there are in the world, you're going to be able to find a clan with the nuttiest people you want or the most laid back.
Kidding.
So I mean, it's just a great group of guys that we all fit into well together. But that's really worked well for us, is having people sit a war or two and see if they want to be in the wars with us.
And then, like, do you look at like the levels of, because I think what's really interesting about some of the stuff that I saw, and just looking around, was like your defenses and your walls. It seems like you guys have a pretty healthy, upgrade. Where are you being like mindful of like the war algorithm? Are you, what's?
We are a lot. The thing, it was funny because Cruel has a really strong base, but he didn't do. Let me go over there real quick. But we just had this conversation 2 days ago. He has almost a full lava interior, but he has all Legos. And he has a pretty strong base, really strong base. And but he didn't do his Infernos because he didn't want to jump up on this. He didn't want to get a harder matchup.
Okay.
But we figured that the base is already at the point to where he's already probably drawing a pretty tough matchup. So I don't know what an Inferno will do for a matchup from level 1 to level 2.
Okay.
But we're thinking that it's not worth it. I mean, that it will be worth it for sure to have better defense than what that will weigh.
Sasquatch was, talking about it, and he really looked at it in terms of like a, like the math of it. And you could, I don't know, I almost wonder if, because of the things that he was saying, like if you've got 6 cannons, right, they're going to factor in, 1 of 6. But then if you've got 2 Infernos, I would imagine they'd have a little bit more weight for each level.
Yeah, I know that, like, just by looking at what the Expos, and the Expos to me, I mean, it's like beating a dead horse. But I agree with everybody on that, with how much those things weigh for what they do. I mean, because like with my Town Hall 8, if I went to a Town Hall 9, I mean, it would just change like, as soon as you put the Expos on the map, it just seems like it changes the matchup. So, like, you're across so much more. Maybe I'm wrong, but
I always wonder about that, though, because, with Britney Spears, my second account, the thing with Britney is like I've been trying to put hit points on the map. So I'm at Town Hall 8, and I was a little bit rushed, and then I get there, and I'm like, okay, how do I get caught up? And it's like, I need to do my my air defense. I need to do my my archer towers, pretty much everything. But where do you start? And so what I was really thinking is like some of the most immediate things at that level are being able to just to do like a storage, all the way to max. If you're a little bit rushed Town Hall 8. And that's going to hold up the dragons longer,
right?
And you're running into those attacks like dragon attacks, hog attacks, and now like go wipe attacks.
Those fart machines are messing up people dragons attacks pretty good lower down.
Yeah, I was
like if people don't know what to do, like if they go straight towards them. Over in Smallville, I watched one of the attacks today. I brought my Son of Kratos account over there. And this guy went straight at it, and it was that thing messed his dragon attack up bad. It just kept pushing him and pushing him and pushing him.
Well, and the one thing about Rig had called me tonight when I was setting up to do the record and to stream, and so I was telling him that I think part of the thing with the air sweeper is that, first of all, I don't think we're seeing the full effect yet, because if you started it when it came out, you would have 7 more days left. So I took mine to level 5. There's 6 levels at this point in the game.
No, it does just goes farther tiles, right? The more you level it up.
Yep.
It reaches farther.
Yeah, but it's okay. Also a 900 hit point building. And so when you've got this high hit point building, which it's more than a level 12 archer tower, but you've got this little tiny space, so it doesn't take up much. But where I've been seeing it in the House of L is that it's hurting the hog attacks, because if people put it in the very center, let's say, and it's by the king, I've been seeing a lot of hogs get hung up there, and then the skelly traps are on them, getting hit by the king, and you see it when it's at that point of the battle where it's just like you've used all your heals, you're about the tipping point to where it's going to start, the hogs are going to turn and hit the king and do all that, and then it gets hung up on this little building.
Yeah.
And so I think that we really haven't seen like the full effect of this, especially not the high level ones. I know Brittany, she is not going to have, it's 2.4 million for number 2, or for level 3. And Scotty didn't have any problem doing that. My main, I didn't
Right.
have any problem doing that part of it. But
Now, how much do you have left on your? I haven't looked at your Scotty account in a while. What do you have left on that base to max out?
I have cannons. I have a couple archer towers. I have one air defense. Walls. I mean, I have a lot of that stuff to do. And then the air sweeper. And so it was.
Holy cow!
Is that your can?
Yeah, I just opened a Guinness can and the thing exploded. Sorry,
Nice.
go on.
No, that's all right. I'm just glad you're okay.
Yeah, really.
So I have I'm about 4 days away from starting my last elixir upgrade. So it's kind of a weird turning point in the game. Like, I'm about to have max troops. I have max troops out, but like all the spells and everything. But I really like my king and queen. My queen just went to 22.
Yeah, I heard that. That's awesome.
Yeah, and my king is at 18. But I was after the update, there was so much loot out there. Like, I dropped down to gold. And big shout out to Mailman, who really worked it last season. Dropped down to silver and had, I believe, and he'll correct me if I'm wrong, 1,157 defenses. Defensive
Wow.
wins. Yeah.
That's crazy. 1,100.
He had more defensive wins last season than I have total.
Wow.
On Scotty, which is unbelievable. Yeah, and Arthur just said in the chat that I had both of my heroes down upgrading.
Now, do you do yours by fives, or do you just do yours whenever are you just trying to keep them one by one?
Well, here it was I was doing the fives, and then the update hit, and it was crazy loot. And basically I stopped using dark troops. Basically, I started barching. I quit using any dark troops besides during war. And I could go into a base, take 100 with a few barbs and archers, and get out of there, And my armies were going faster. So I started the king. I got the queen to 20, and I said, okay, now it's time to take the king to 20. And I made so much dark elixir, the king went to 16, and then I hit enough to do my queen with 3 or 4 days left on my king. So I said, well, I'm going to put her down then.
Wow.
Because I didn't want to sit on that much dark elixir.
Right.
It was like 105k dark elixir.
So how much is your queen at level 20 and up to upgrade?
I think the next one is 107 or 110.
Wow.
And so
I was complaining about 75 for level 15.
yeah. I mean, it starts to be like once you hit that like 60 to 100 range, it's like wow. And then of course she takes longer to heal. And so for a long time I got in that trap of not knowing if it was really worth it. And this, obviously like this started a long time ago because it was before war. And then you kind of get in that trap of, well, you don't want a war without them, and they used to be, be lured. And so all this stuff, has happened. And so basically I got to put her down. And I got to put her down, and then I had enough for the king. I put him down again, had enough for the queen, put her down. And I woke both of them up for the Kryptonian family war. Because I basically said, I'm not stopping my progress. If I need to wake them up, I'll wake them up. And I think that'll be, you get into these wars where it's so close, where you're like, God, this one attack could make the difference. And then there's a lot of pressure to wake them up, so
right.
if I could, I would keep them both down. It was like all of a sudden you could see progress. You could like in like what 2 or
would that have been like 3 weeks? I got 5 hero levels.
That's awesome.
You know, so it was like, wow, I could see putting them in the range of the high 20s, you know, within a reasonable amount of time. But the loot to me has seemed to dry up.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
And Mailman just mentioned in the chat too that he has yet to use Dark on the Mini. I haven't used any Dark troops on Britney Spears yet either. And a lot of it goes back to Illness when he said, imagine how much Dark elixir we spent on troops.
Yeah.
And that's why with Scotty too, I basically said, all right, I'm not going to use any Dark troops for a while, do a Dark elixir diet and try to see what, I hadn't been to gold for a long time. I was still in that pushing mentality, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy because usually I use 2 Velks and 5 Hogs, so I don't even use a lot for my normal raids. But I wanted to get my queen to 15, so I stopped doing that, and I got her to 14 pretty quick, and now I have 57,000 already. And
Nice.
I had to wake her up early today though for
the war.
Yeah, for the war today. 'Cause it was a close one. I didn't wake her up for the last one. I let her go, but then for today it was a close war, so I'm like,
I could imagine like the pressure at, you know, with that many wins, and this is not. I think because it's a smaller clan or smaller war, I should say, and it's segmented so much. There's a lot of pressure on each player to perform right at their level.
Right. Yeah, there really is because, yeah, if our Town Hall 9s don't if they don't take their guys out, it's just as important as our Town Hall 8s not taking their guys out, just because, you know, it's a trickle down where as if somebody misses theirs and somebody else has to move down and somebody else has to move down. So it's definitely, everybody has their jobs and they all do a really good job doing them. So,
yeah. And Halligan just had an attack on here where he did a victory drop with a rage at the end, right? Which is awesome. It's like, in fact, Scotty, like today in L, I went up against a TH10. I came back later into the war, and the 2 bases that I thought I was gonna maybe have to hit were starred, like 2-starred. And so I thought, well, where am I going to go? And they said, oh, go to 15, and there's like 1 Inferno. And I almost had a meltdown. Well, first of all, they're all saying, no, use this. But there's 1 Inferno. And I have, you know, 2 freeze spells, brood. But when I go up against a base that I'm just not used to, you know, like I'm used to the 10s or, you know, like even the 9s.
Right.
When I switch up those spells, all of a sudden it's like, oh man, you know, I don't know. But I went in and I actually 3-starred it, which was pretty cool. But it was a low TH10, 1 Inferno tower.
That's pretty impressive. You still had an Inferno at Town Hall. I mean, at number 15 though.
Yeah, we had that last war. I think there was 15 10s to our 9.
Wow.
Or 15 to 10. Or
now, are you guys still getting hard matchups?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In fact, I was looking at it today, and I went to start the war before we were going to record, and there was 31 people. So, you know, I wanted to both see what would happen if I got taken out, and then wanted like the lower town halls to be able to war. And I thought, well, you know, I can Twitch or I can do whatever. And of course, I didn't think about it at the time, but I'm like, well, Britney Spears is in a war, so so it's not like I won't get some more.
Dude, I can't even deal with it.
I know. God, yeah. The worst part about renaming her Britney is that I have not been able to get Britney Spears songs out of my head since
I bet.
Since I changed it. And that's when you have "Oops, I Did It Again" playing in your head.
Yeah.
It is just, yeah. But it's funny, you know, because I love my troop request.
That's hilarious.
Hit me, baby, one more time with anything. And then my new one is oops, you donated again to my farm raid. So Brittany, just hanging out in Project Cadmus, about to do the first war. I'm a little nervous, but so what will you do then? Will you work on your heroes going up, or like?
I am going to. I talked about it a little bit off the air with you. But I for the matchups I'm getting with my town hall, I really feel like I should, because how good everybody is in the clan.
Yeah.
Like I really feel like I'm pulling it down. Like I really think I should be able to 3-star Maya Cross, and I'm trying different attacks. I try doing the Laloons with a cold-blooded, and just try what I see other people using. And I think a lot of, and I try, like the 5 Golem was working pretty decent with me, but it's because my heroes are so low too, and they, with those attacks, the heroes do so much damage when
Yeah.
people have them higher. So I'm going to put my Town Hall 10 over none until I can get him higher. And what else? The thing that's nice about that is we don't have a lot of max troops over there because we're not high level perk yet. I think we're only
Okay.
3 still. So I'll be able to donate high level like max wizards, all the troops. And what's awesome is now that we're perk 5 and in Project Cadmus, I can bring my Town Hall 8 over and give max wizards, max dragons, max healers. I don't know if anyone wants those, but I can give all these max troops out at Town Hall 8, and I know I can 3-star my cross and go up with that because I'm getting pretty good with my Town Hall 8 attacks.
That's a good way to do it, to still be part of the war, in one way, and then let your TH10 get higher heroes, and
because I'd like to get him I want to get those to 20 before I bring them back.
And that's the thing with the matchups is like what we see is like you're just going against these super high heroes, and
those level today that the guy that attacked across, he had a level 34, 36 Archer Queen, and those things take out air defenses with, I think it was like 3 shots.
Yeah, even just going. Just like incrementally, you get the next level of troop. It acts as defense too. But yeah, it really is a turning point because you can see how much longer they last,
Yeah.
And where you get those attacks where you go, man, if my hero was maxed out, this could have maybe been a 3-star. I think it was Phantom in the war today. He almost 3-starred this 10, and it was just like, well, the queen just needed a little bit more oomph, and had that been there, I think it might have been. Like, I thought it was going to be a 3-star for a while.
Now, who has the highest heroes right now? Does anybody have 30s?
I think T-Skits might be really close to 30. Somebody else might be able to tell me in the chat, which this really helps the podcast and then we have a couple of questions too. But high 20s, Mighty Buzzard, Matt, Mailman is in the 20s. So I feel like I need to get him at least to like 25 to 30 to really like put a dent.
Yeah, it seems like watching the. I think Keaton has 25. I think. But watching, yeah, he has a 25 Barbarian King and a 20 Archer. Somebody has a 25 Archer Queen, but yeah, at 25 it seems like she gets nasty. Like, yeah. I don't know how much of a difference it is from 20 to 25, but maybe it's just in my head watching her.
Walls,
it seems
look
like
out.
yeah, elixir storages and walls. Here we come.
Oh, and Dirty Pirate is he had maxed or close to max. He went on a walkabout. Papa Dragon said it's level 25 is when they get fun, which I'm excited. Yeah, and I'm not really sure where our 9s stack up on in that.
Now they can go up to 25, right? Town Hall 9s?
I believe so. You know what? And I'm glad that there is a chat. Because like even today in Cadmus, I asked for the Town Hall 8 because like it is, last time I was Town Hall 8, there wasn't heroes, or they came when I was a Town Hall 8. So the king only goes to 10, which may be the one caveat that would maybe push Brittany to 9. Would be that I would be able to get a queen. But not for a long time. I mean, I want all my Dark Troops max before that, but
I keep toying around with this idea because my Son of Kratos account, I have 2 Teslas left, and everything will be maxed. I have 2 Teslas left and 2 barracks to get to level 10, and then all I have is walls to do, and I have my Golem, and I have my Golem, my Hog Rider, and my Velk. I have 1 level left on them to get up.
Okay.
For my Town Hall 8. So I keep going back and forth, though, if I want to... Because I'm having a lot of fun with my war attacks with this Town Hall 8. So I keep going back and forth if I want to just max it out with the walls being skull walls and just keeping it Town Hall 8. Or if I do want to go to 9 after or not, because... I mean, the level 3 Pikas and everything at this level, I mean, they just destroy that place. The little Town Hall 8.
And it's level 30 for TH9.
Oh, okay.
Which, I mean,
wow,
it's pretty powerful. And, and there was just, because we're showing these attacks,
that's a lot of, you can sit on Town Hall 9 for a long time then.
Yeah, just to biff it up.
Your heroes, yeah.
There was an attack today in Project Cadmus, and I'm going to play it. So if you want to check it out, this will be up on Twitch for a little bit, and then it'll be on YouTube. But there was a glitch. Did you see this attack today?
No, I'm going to jump over right now, though, and watch it, what you're talking about.
Lord Harry Nuts attacked... number 13, I should say, because it's a Chinese name, I believe, and so I can't read it. But he goes into his attack, and the king freezes right in the attack. And now the king is standing next to a air sweeper, and you come to find out that the king is on a Tesla. And so Halligan, we were looking at it, and there's also another attack, and I'll actually play that as well. I think it was Halligan, so the king stays there until the Tesla's destroyed. So the king is just standing, and the hogs get in there. They finally take it out. The king has not even moved. And so the other attack...
Yeah, I see that.
The other attack as well is the same type of thing. And so Halligan went and looked it up, and it was on the Supercell forum, and I was curious as to whether or not it was going to happen the next time somebody attacked. Like if it was going to be... and one thing that hurt with this attack is that the king couldn't have been drawn. You got your kill squad going in. He attacks with golems to lure the king, and the king just stands there. But it's the air sweeper, the king, and in the other case, it was a queen, and the Tesla. And Halligan found out that it was when troops are directed, right into the path. So it got hung up in that. And so I'm thinking that it might be because of the air sweeper, but it was the strangest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, and there was a number.
Yeah, that's nuts.
There was another attack, and I'll look at the attacks here. And yeah, it blew my mind, and I thought, well, you could almost like use it to your benefit, maybe, because the other attack was on a.
Like if you know they're going to glitch, if you have a air sweeper and Tesla there or whatever it takes to.
And so it just must have been when the start of the war, or when the war attack started, where it like, like where the pathing is at that particular time. And so I'm going to look at this attack. It was on a TH9. I believe it was a number 6. So I'm looking for that one. But I'm having a problem finding it.
After this one, if you want to put up my last attack, I can critique how all the things I did wrong with it.
On your last attack? Well, and like we could, because we're doing well. I wonder how it would work on the actual podcast. I'm looking, maybe somebody. It's Halligan's attack on 6.
Okay.
Let's see here. Why can't I find it? So what happens with Halligan's attack on 6? Oh, here it is. Oh. No, not that one. It was, oh man. I'm apparently dumb today. It was his on 6. Anyways, what happens is the queen, there it is. The queen just stands there as well. And
she freezes up too?
Yeah, she freezes up completely. Again, it's the air sweeper, the queen, and a Tesla right next to the TH. And so, like, I was just super interested to see whether or not you could almost count on this happening, and so part of me was like, well, maybe you could use it on defense as well. If you knew, like, you want your,
did you see Halligan write my attack on 6 stop?
Okay.
You stop.
I should have been looking at the chat.
Yeah, that's funny.
But the queen stays there, and then he goes in with a pig dog attack, and I wondered if he came another direction, if it would have actually. He would have gotten the queen. But when you're going into lure, and the queen is held up, I think the queen's the most vulnerable, but it worked really good for the king because the hogs were in there. The hogs destroyed the Tesla, and then the king is at full strength to take out that level 10 king to take out the hogs. And so like the attack that we're watching right now, I kind of wondered if it wasn't for if Halligan wouldn't have come the other way, if he would have taken out the queen. I don't think it quite mattered, but the air sweeper did some damage. And then there was another attack, and it was ice, I believe, so it's really cool to visit other clans because then you get to see, different attacks and everything.
Iceman and Arg, I think, had awesome hog attacks in this war. They always do a really good job, but Arg had a really pretty hog attack in this war.
Yeah. Well, I think we just had played that.
Oh, okay.
But we can go back and look at that, and as we kind of get closer to an hour, we can even just focus on the attacks themselves, and oh man, L had some really good attacks this war too. Some we got some newer guys in there.
I was going to ask you that if you guys have had newer recruits in there.
Yeah, we I'm trying to think of like some of the newest ones. Spaceman is new. He had a really good attack he used some hogs and Velks, and I love the Velks. In fact, Brittany's going to be getting some Velks.
Awesome.
And so I'll do hogs first.
I'm happy. I used with my spam go wee wee attacks, I always use like 5 Velks now, and that's what I use today. And well, that's what I always use now, and they've been working awesome. And I'll drop one usually in the middle of the clan castle when they all come out, and they'll just take care of all that stuff. And
and I don't want to hurt Iceman's feelings because he had a really tough attack, but I think that there was something really good that came out of it because it was tough. Like this was all spaced out, but he goes in to take out. You've got the king. In the middle, the king and queen are in the middle, and there's an air defense right on the outside. And so he brings some, he's going to do a pig dog attack, and he brings some wizards to take it out, and then he's going to send in, he does a nice lure.
Yeah.
And he's going to send in.
This kill squad he had was, it was perfect, if this is the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Where he took out the archer queen, and it was perfect, and then...
Well, he's going to go at it. Yeah, brings the golem in. He's going to send the golem in at the lower level defense, and the kill squad keeps going. He sends a jump in after it. Then he puts the king down. Oh, that's what it was. The king got distracted by the skeleton from the queen, and kind of took it off. I had thought it was skelly traps. But,
I gotcha.
Yeah, and I had just been talking to Rig about the skeleton traps, and I thought, that would be a really good spot, in a base to put it where the lure is going to be to distract the heroes, right off to the side when they're going to take out the queen, because we send so many of our heroes in right at with a golem or whatever to take out the queen, but. Have you noticed a big difference with those skelly traps?
Lately, I guess I haven't seen them as bad. But for a while there, they were really screwing up things. And during war, I haven't ran into a huge problem with them the last 3 or 4 wars. But I think it's because what I use.
Okay.
I notice people with hogs sometimes they'll run an issue with it, but with the heroes they still draw them over there, so that's a pain in the ass if you're trying to funnel them in one way and they see a skeleton pop up and they shoot to the left.
Yeah.
So that's a pain.
Well, what are you using these days for attacks? What is your favorite?
My favorite attack is still the giants. I use 20 giants, 12 wizards. 8 wall breakers, just like 10 or 12 archers, 6 balloons, and 2 Velks and 5 hogs.
Wow, so you're really mixing it up.
Yeah, and that's been working. And Masters, that's how I've been farming, is with those, except for now with Dark. I took the Velks and the hogs out, and I replaced it with either 2 more giants or... I put 2 more giants and 4 more balloons, or 4 giants, and I'll just mix those 2 up sometimes.
Wow.
But those have been working really well for me. And I know I might be using a bunch of elixirs for it, but I'm trying to get dark elixir right now.
Yeah. And I'm at that point. Well, of course, my stuff's about to be done. Where don't have to worry about the elixir so much, but.
And my freeze is going to be max in 2 days, so I'm really excited.
Oh, that is so nice. You wouldn't think like a second makes a difference, but, just depending on what's in the CC and, that 1 second a lot of times comes down to, that Inferno Tower going down or, an Expo or are you.
So I'm trying.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go for it.
So I'm trying to figure out with my next, because I have my barbs. All I have left is my barbs, my pikas, and my goblins left to max out. Right? Yeah, my barbs, pikas, and goblins. Yeah, and then I have my jump spell, my lightning, and my heal to max out. Which one of those would you do next?
Okay, it's the jump spell or heal?
Jump spell, heal, or lightning.
I would do... Okay.
Because the jump seems like it already lasts for quite a while, but maybe that extra I mean, it's only level 1. It just seems like when I use it, it's right in the
it's
right
in the
with
beginning. I think a level 2 jump spell, like jump's my last one to max. Lightning is the one that's going right now. I do wish I would have had the lightning maxed, because I do bring it in sometimes, or I have been bringing it in to take out like the witch.
Now, will that take a witch out where the level 5 won't?
No, the level 5 will, but even a level 6 won't take out the wizards. But I'm wondering if I don't know, like I wonder if it wouldn't make a little bit of a difference, because even a wizard, getting taken down just a little bit more will help. But the heal is so versatile for farming, and when I take in Velks, depending on depending on the composition. So like today, I took in, I could freeze one Inferno, and the other one wouldn't be touching them. So I put a Rage and a Heal on the Velks and froze the Inferno in the center of the base. And then that way, when the Inferno came back, boom, they were able to resume. And that works really well. So, but in farming as well, like you can use the heal.
Right.
Even if it's,
yeah, that's what I usually have 2 heals, 2 rage, and a jump. And a jump for my farming, because with the dark elixir, usually they have it in the middle.
Yeah, so. You know what? If I were you, I would do jump to level 2.
Okay.
I was thinking you were maxing it.
No, my jump is not. It's only level 1. My lightning and my lightning and my heal are 5, and my jump is the only one that's not leveled up at all.
Yeah, because I think what is it, 40 seconds on a level 2? No.
Yep.
Yeah, 40. That's more than enough for it to get anywhere else in your base. You're past that. That's why I waited, because I'm like,
I wish they alternated the freeze and jump.
Yeah.
Get 40 seconds of freeze.
Oh my God, wouldn't that be nice? Well, and I've been taking 2 jumps in too, a lot of times. And maybe with the higher level heroes, when they last a lot longer, and maybe that's a long time, but that might, I've seen queens or kings get trapped.
Yeah. With those high level walls, if I only have 1 jump, usually I'll get them to the center, and then they get trapped in the center, and they can't get out if it's lavas or. I mean, it just takes a while, and they get all shot up for that.
What are some other things you wanted to get to while we're?
Well, I just wanted to, just in case everybody doesn't know, None is doing wars now, and they're non-obligation, because House of None. So they're just practice wars, fun wars, not serious. We're doing two a week right now. It's fluctuating between 30 to 40 people usually. We have 50 people in there, but with the opt-in, opt-out, that's awesome for that type of setup. Just so people can keep farming if they don't want to war and everything.
So is it a constant?
No, we're doing 2 a week. We're doing them.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, we're doing them on Wednesdays and Fridays. So it's nice because it's just a change. You go over and it's just relaxed, and you just go over and do your attacks, and that's it. It's a great. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And no, what's the? Are they winning a lot?
No, we actually just changed it because we did have everybody opt in, just to make it the most points we could get. But by doing that, we only had probably 60%. Probably 60%. It's just had a brain fart.
No, I didn't. Of participation?
Yes, participation.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So, and that's just because we opted everybody in, and we knew a lot of people didn't really come on a lot and everything. But now that we lowered it, I actually looked at everybody that was participating in the last three wars, and I just opted them out. So that way now everybody that's opted in is participating in. I think we've won 2. I think.
And so
Wow.
is everybody over there pretty much farming then? I mean, because it's a farming clan, but
yep, everybody just wants to get the perks up so we can get to the level 5 and get our troops up better. And
big congratulations to House of L we hit level 5 this past week, and it's like kids in a candy store because
yeah, isn't it awesome?
Oh man, when the 9s and 8s can contribute to the war CCs.
Oh, awesome!
It's just like completely different, and then contribute on War Day too.
We're actually 3 wars away from perk 4. No, I'm sorry, that's
perk
not
6.
us. No, no, I was the wrong one. Sorry,
House of Non.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I was really impressed too because when I got to Cadmus, you were a level 5 clan, and that really shows like how much winning adds up.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy extra. because how with only Warren 20 to 25, it's really impressive. Like when we, because we turned 5 within an hour of Al. And because I looked, I have all you guys bookmarked, so I wanted to see who else was 5, and I saw Zod was 5, and then I looked at it later. I'm like, oh, I said House L is 5 also, and then I was talking to you, and then you said you just turned 5. I said, wow, I said we just both turned 5 within an hour of each other.
Oh, it was that close.
Yeah, it was that close. It was within an hour.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty neat because now just House of L, House of Zod, and Project Cadmus, and Zoaz are 5s on my little list here.
And I kind of think that it's the pinnacle, to be honest. Like, like if you look at the rest of the perks, it'll be cool, when we hit 10. But from now until 10, it doesn't seem like there's any super benefit unless I'm completely wrong.
It's going to be so weird having a Town Hall 7 give Max Dragons out.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, it would be so cool, though, if they made it so you actually got those troops, but then nobody would update their stuff.
Yeah.
Well, they wouldn't research anything.
Halligan said... just in the chat here, he said that's the one thing he took. He said that's the one thing he took away from Cadmus. Level 5 perks are the shit. I'm assuming that it's shit, because it was a different experience because all of a sudden, like, I'm going in to donate like golems or half the time I had trained up a golem and the requests were gone. Because people are able to fill. And you kind of go also like your clan really invested in the clan itself, like membership, it took a lot of people working together to get to that point.
Yeah. And that's why I think you'll see people stay so much longer also because you've worked so hard to get to that level. And like with us, we've had the same core group since the beginning. And I know I wouldn't want to leave and start from scratch again. Yeah.
Well, and you think about how valuable that is. And I don't know if anybody heard that, but it sounded like there was a huge explosion outside.
I heard that.
I have no idea what that was. So if you don't hear from me,
yeah. Well, Scotty, thank you for everything you've done for us, man. It's been a pleasure.
That was insane. So it's awesome. Explosions aside, I guess. Level 5's awesome. But it's going to be a while to get to 6.
Yeah.
And now I don't even not even thinking about it now, but
yeah. The guys in Cadmus wanted me to give a shout out to all the wives in our clan that have put up with all of our shit for the all the time we've spent into the game.
all the like
All the
disgruntled.
wives and girlfriends and yeah, everybody that's had to put up with us.
Well, it can be a lot too because you're like trying to get your war attacks in. You got to strategize, and I honestly am a little nervous to be in the war. I feel confident though in Brittany's ability to wrangle dragons. And I was kind of looking at the attack that I will have to do tomorrow, but should be interesting.
So you're doing a walkabout with Brittany right now? So after
Yeah,
Cadmus, where do you plan on going then?
I went to Kent and warred with them. My apologies for dropping the Barch army. I believe it was when I was in Kent. Make sure you double check even though there's the green, like I came in really quick to get my attack done. Like I was really busy. And I just, it was like, I was blinded to it. You know, like you see the green check marks and you've got that beautiful screen, and I got in, I lightninged one of the air defenses, and I go to drop my dragon, and I go, oh shit, I have Barch.
Oh my god!
And I was sitting there and going, okay, this is 3.5 minutes or 3 minutes I've got here. I'm like, I really don't want to leave. You know, like, oh god, I should just, you know, oh man, it was mortifying.
I bet. Did you get at least 2 stars?
No, because I was so thrown off at that point that I was like, there's no way. And I think I was going up against a 9 or something. It was maybe that was it. I can't. I'm trying to forget.
That sucks, man.
Yeah, and that's so I will definitely not do that. Definitely not Barch, but I warred there, and great group of people. It was fun. They really.
What are they warring at now, Scotty?
I think it was 15 or 20, maybe. Maybe it's 25 when I was there. And they a lot of different variety because different levels, really cool to see. And then I came to Cadmus, and then I'm going to, I think, stop by House of Non, and stop by Smallville because I haven't had a chance to really get around, and Brittany gets around.
Yeah, she does.
And so I figured, I'll send Brittany to do that. And, like Xace had been dead for a while, it just was pretty hard to do stuff. But it's really kind of fun to be warring with the 8s, and Smallville is all 8s and below.
Yeah, it is. It's a really good group over there, man. I'm enjoying it over there. I'm gonna do this war with them, and then I'll probably go over to Kent, do a war with them. I haven't been
to Phantom Zone in a long time either, so I'll probably head there as well.
Yeah.
And war with them. And so I don't know, maybe what I'll do is just spend like a week or something, at each place and kind of, because you can't really get a sense of it. Like I was in Cadmus since the beginning of the last war, the end of the war before, and got to see how you guys work together and saw the war, and then participate, and then you get to meet people, and otherwise it can be really quick to come.
The thing that's also so nice about being with the same people for a while is you don't even have to be on, like if an asshat comes in, because you almost start sharing a brain together. Like you just know what the other people are going to deal with and what they're not going to deal with.
And
you can like you can tell within the first 10-15 minutes. Now, like, you know what I mean? It's really nice because you don't, like, for me personally, I don't have to be on every minute of the day worrying about things because the other leaders do so much there, and we all have the same goal, and so it's nice because we all just have our own time.
And I think one of the nice things too.
My wife thanks every co-leader in Cadmus.
Yeah, shout out. Well, and you kind of get into a rhythm of time too. Like there's a lot of people, co-leaders and others who are in there at certain times throughout the day, and so like war donations don't go unfilled.
Now, do you guys have anybody from overseas in L now?
Oh yeah, we've got a few people from the UK. We have Mighty Buzzard, who had some just killer war attacks this war. We have RM84.
Oh, I should have known that.
Yep. And we have Charlie Trees, who once climbed a mountain to get his war attacks in.
I heard that. He was somewhere that had no reception, right?
Yeah. I just saw a picture in the L line chat. He's like, it was the morning. He's like, had to hike up the mountain to, and that's dedication. I think I tweeted that out. I think I said dedication. One of those like motivational posters. And we have somebody, I think RM. I think maybe that's it. So that's nice because they're on the, they'll come on later at night, or it kind of has put us into starting wars a little bit earlier too than we normally would. It's a really nice mix up that kind of puts people in at different times too. Yeah. There's some just killer attacks in.
Now, what are you using for your war attacks now, Scotty?
Oh, pretty much it changes up based on the base.
Like, what are you the most comfortable with?
Velks and
like,
Giants.
if you had an idea, like,
well, it depends because some of our wars, you get to the end and it's like, all right, we just need to get the XP on the top, for example.
Right.
If we've lost or if things have been 2-star, I'm almost comfortable like trying to 1-star a really hard one. In those cases, I like to, if I can get to the core, I'll send in Giants and Velks and just, kind of do an alien. But it's definitely a 1-star, maybe 2-star strategy. But sometimes that's just what we need. Like you can't go up against some, the level 40 heroes. Today I did a go wipe, but I had 2 witches, so I think that's still a go wipe, right? So I did 3. Yeah, I did 3 golems, 3 golems, maybe like 14 wizards, 2 witches, couple wall breakers, and then I've been doing like 2 jump a lot of the time, freeze, 2 freeze, and a rage, because I'm not really a big fan of the rage and the golems, because I think a lot of times it just pushes the troops past, and I think I can get more out of jumps, So it varies. I did a 5 golem one last week that worked really well. I don't know. I guess it kind of depends. The one thing that's really changed is that I've been luring a lot.
Oh, okay.
Which I didn't used to do. And so I do the lure, and then I'm bringing a lot of overkill troops. So really great advice that I got in the clan was bring a couple minions, because at the end you might have cannons still there. And then you could put a minion on, near the cannon and not get hurt.
Right.
So I think even today, I bring like maybe 4 archers, 5 barbs, 2 minions. So I've been taking up more space that way, but I've been seeing the benefits.
Okay.
Of it, because I can take that little bit of extra percentage. I can make sure that the lure goes. So if I think the lure is going to go if I could lure with, let's say, 2 balloons, I'll bring 3.
Right. Yeah, that's especially with hog attacks. I've noticed that with people, you're better off bringing something that's just going to take everything out. Because if you leave 2 wizards or a witch in there, it screws that whole thing up.
Yeah, and do you bring a kill squad with all yours? Like a 2-witch 2.
I really need to start because I just started doing it today. But I modified it a little bit because I want to use the Velk so much. I think sometimes I do it just to try to use her, and it actually screws me up sometimes.
Yeah.
Because I love using her, but
Sometimes
I think
just not.
Yeah.
It is really nice to have the Velks, and then you go in with your 2 witches, 2 wizards, 3 bards,
3 barbarians.
And if you have a lower TH, you can modify that by just bringing in like an extra couple wizards. But I'll lure and then bring enough barbs and archers to do that. And then I noticed that in the attacks that I've been doing, I'll have that kill squad there. But if I've got a couple Velks, I can drop one of the Velks, and they'll get the witches or the wizards and kind of take more of that heat. So it's kind of nice to have a Velk for that too.
Yeah. That's the only thing I changed up was with mine. I'm using a witch, a Velk, 2 wizards, and 3 barbs.
Okay.
So I changed it a little bit instead of 2 witches. Because the ones I see are 2 witches, 2 wizards, and 3 barbs. I just wanted to try it out, but I am going to start using the 2 witches.
And I think the key is if you bring enough to overkill the lure, but then have that in the back of your head with that kill squad, that let's say the lure just goes wrong, which sometimes happens,
right?
That you can use it in a different way. So I kind of try to prepare, like, all right, if I can't lure. So today there was a base with a sucker hole on it. And, looked at it and I thought, you know what, I'm going to drop a giant in there and then 3 balloons. And I thought I could take out, the Teslas. And it was a anti 3-star base. And so I dropped.
Was that for war or was that for?
Yeah, I was in war.
Oh, okay.
And did that, and then it didn't draw the whole CC. And I thought, you couldn't possibly tear my troops up that bad, and it did. But I just kept dropping a barb or 2 in there, and that pulled the rest of them. So I kind of had like the back of my head, like, all right, I just need to make sure, that I get the lure and do whatever it takes, I guess. And I did. And then I went in and got some great advice from the guys and got 78% 1-star on it.
Wow. Oh.
So it was a tough one. My queen, of course, went the wrong way. All the good stuff.
Yeah. 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 I want to, can I give a couple shout outs to the guys?
Yeah, definitely.
The guys. But yeah, there's some other guys in Cadmus that have been doing awesome too. And Bjorn is one of them, and he's been with us for a while. He's doing a really good job. He's always solid for his attacks. And I always give my co-leaders shout outs just because they're doing a great job. And that's Addicted, Cruel, Keaton, and Arg and Addicted are the same people. But and Tall and Ringer are doing well. Everybody's doing a really good job. I just thought I'd give those guys a shout out.
Well, shout out, yeah, because and thanks for having me in Cadmus, because it's pretty cool. I'm really excited about this war. I'll tell you. I
am too, man.
I am nervous. Like it is a little. It is pressure. Like as soon as I got there and I was like, okay, I don't know, and I'm like, you can opt me in if you want, but I'll stay out. And
no,
I was just like, I was more like, well, I don't know if that means somebody else is sitting or what. So it's
the thing that gets me worried sometimes is like with the war matchup we have for this one, compared to our other ones. It should be fairly easy, but I have to get out of the mindset of that because that's when we're going to get caught.
Yeah.
Is when we think it's going to be easy. All of a sudden, these people are great attackers, and we let off the gas, and we end up losing.
It's almost like you have to pretend that it's like down to the wire all the time.
Yeah. I mean, because it's like, I mean, we've only done 42 wars with them, but I definitely see why people say not to use cookie cutter bases, because you see the same base so many times, and that's why I usually don't alternate from what I'm using, because I know that it's like when I do try to do an air attack, like if I try something fancy with it, like it's either a 3-star or 0. Like I never
Yep.
just pull off. Like when I use those attacks, I never pull off like a solid 2-star. It's either like a 0, like a 67. Well, I mean, like a 1-star,
Yep.
like 70% something where I didn't hit the town hall because the balloons don't go there. But with the go wipes and stuff, it's always like a solid 2-star, and sometimes I just settle for it because I know that's what we need more than the other one.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I think it was last war, and I probably didn't do the best because it was we were down to the wire, and had maybe I put another star on it, we lost by 1, I think.
Oh,
and so it was really close, but because
did
it
you
was
have
so
full
close,
participation?
Almost fully. I wouldn't be surprised if it was. I didn't see it right at the very end, but I think when we're so close, it's like, okay, go for the sure one, and then hope for the 2. So it can be kind of dicey that way, but.
You have your Britney Spears account going pretty good, though, man. You get your king to 7.
Yeah.
So he's getting there.
Yeah, because I funneled that all into there. I have, let's see here. I did minions only because I had Dark Elixir and the king was
Right.
upgrading, and I didn't have enough for, I didn't have hogs yet, I don't think. And so I just got the archers done. Now that I got the rage going, but, yeah, I mean, it's getting there. I'm trying to do the right things. I think the air sweeper will be the next upgrade. I've got my archer towers trying to go. I'm just trying to keep funneling stuff into the walls and into defenses. But I kind of base it on when the upgrades are done. It's
Right.
like if I'm saving up for let's say elixir upgrade for the research, then I basically have to keep my gold low, and I'll shove that into the walls. Otherwise, I can't farm because people just keep hitting me.
Yeah, I've been having, my king's been at 9 on my Town Hall 8 for a while. Every time I get up to like 36,000, 37,000, I get hit. It's like, it's driving me crazy.
Yeah. Oh, I bet. And do you get sapped?
Yeah. Yep.
And what is your Dark Elixir storage at? Is that 4?
Holds, I think it holds 80, right?
Okay.
I had to go up because
Yeah, mine's at 40,000. Because I thought the hit points on that, and that was another reason. Like upgrading that, I would get. It doesn't tell you how much the HP goes up.
I'll tell you right now what it's at. Yeah, mine's at 4, so it holds 80,000.
I like that. A lot of people in Al have been calling it the leaf blower. It would be kind of a good war to copy.
Yeah, it would be.
Like copy the straight
where
across.
I got the base I have right now. I actually copied from the guy I was going across 3 wars ago. That wanted him to attack it, and I wanted to see how to attack it.
Did it work?
He never attacked it.
Oh damn.
So, but I kept it, and it's done pretty well for me.
Maybe we should probably wrap up and.
Yeah, it's going on almost midnight here. So if you see a murder in Mexico, New York, you know it was me, my wife killing me when I get out.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on, man. And big shout out to Project Cadmus, House of Non, Kent Farmhouse for lending Halligan over there too.
Yeah.
For the
No,
war.
thank you, man, for having me on, and it's always fun.
Yeah, and we'll have to do it again. And so, all right, man. Well, keep it clashy.
Yeah, keep it classy, buddy. Thank you very much.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
Yeah, talk to you later.
All right, fellow nerds. Thanks, Kratos, for being here at the podcast. Get a hold of us at clashclanspodcast@gmail.com, at WBSMT Radio and Twitter. And I also started my own Twitter account. Well, I've kind of had it for a while, but I was a little tired of signing my name -S. So if you want, you can follow me, Scotty827 on Twitter, 42427-CLASH, and clashclanspodcast.com as always. So till next time, keep it clashy, everybody.
Skilly beep 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 skilly beep.